And hey there, and welcome back to Sleeve M. If you're new to my channel, I had the gastric sleeve surgery on January 9th. This is my 7th week out. I just wanted to go over the major food changes today that I've had, which are really exciting. So I went in for my 6-week follow-up appointment on Monday, this last Monday, and they told me that I am cleared for all types of foods. Well-ish. Obviously, I have to be within the certain diet plan, which is a very high protein, about 75% protein to about 25% carbs. That is still in place, but I can have the crunchy, the dense, and the spicy foods, which crunchy and spicy are probably my favorite foods. So it was very exciting. With that being said, I've noticed that dense foods such as chicken breast, we had our first chicken breast just recently, and I was surprised that Daniel had cut it in half, and then he also made it into and then again. So literally a fourth of a chicken breast is still a little bit too much for me. It fills up, I think, a lot quicker, and I think the best way to kind of deal with chicken is just to make sure that you chew it up completely. Luckily, I have my dog, Guinness, who truly enjoys a good chicken breast and was very helpful in helping me finish all of my chicken without Daniel's approval, of course. But it was really good. Spicy foods have been going down. About the first couple weeks after my procedure, I wasn't able to have spicy, but I noticed I was getting heartburn more. That is one of the big concerns for the gastric sleeve, is the risk of having heartburn. They told me that it is not uncommon to be put on some type of proton pump inhibitor or antacid for the rest of your life. But lately, probably about week 4, I kind of quit having really bad acid reflux, and I really haven't had any since. I'm able to eat spicy foods, and spicy foods were definitely one of the foods that triggered heartburn in the past, but I noticed that I can eat those spicy foods without getting heartburn. So it's very exciting. Also, the food schedule changed, so instead of eating 1 to 3 ounces every 2 hours, I can have about 2 to 4 ounces every 3 hours. So I've increased the amount I can eat, and I can definitely tell that that has been increasing, but it's every 3 hours, which is really nice for my job. Eating every 2 hours was difficult to keep up with. I felt like I was eating constantly, and now that's just not the concern. I've been really just portioning everything out, making sure I have something at 6, 9, 12, 3, and 6. So those are my meals. I've been sticking to them. They did say you could add an additional meal at 9 p.m. I've never been a late night eater. I am not the type of person that likes to have something right before they go to bed. I really don't like to eat after 6, so that's what I'm going to stick with, but they did give me that option. And now that I'm doing the every 3 hours, I am on a fluid change as well. So what they told me is for each meal, I cannot have anything to drink 15 minutes prior and then 45 to an hour afterwards. This has been the biggest struggle of this switch, and I tried starting this towards the end of last week to kind of get myself prepared for how it would go. On Monday when I went in for my 6th week, I can tell you that this is, other than when I first came out of the hospital, which I was so tired, I don't think that I cared that I was dehydrated. This is the most dehydrated I felt. I do not have a desk job, so having the schedule of eating, waiting 60 minutes, and then making sure I have 8 to 10 ounces during that second 2 hours of that has been very difficult. I sometimes take like a few bites and then have to get up and room a patient or go do some testing on somebody, and then I come back and finish my meal. Well, it takes me a whole hour to eat, and then I have an hour where I'm not really supposed to be drinking anything, and then the next hour I really try to push in. We have these jars at work that contain, I know they're probably like 8 to 16 ounce jars. I know that's a wide variety, but they're pretty big. And I try to make sure I have 1 to 2 of those within that hour. But again, sometimes I might be checking in patients. I know in the afternoon has been the worst because our schedule is about every 15 minutes I have another patient arriving. So I'm trying to drink as much water during that time as possible. I've just decided that I have to sometimes just take a little bit of time for myself, which I've never been very good at my entire life. And so if I do find that I'm busy, I might just have to quick run in, take a big drink of water, and then go do something to make sure that I'm taking care of that. But I know that I'm dehydrated. I know that's something that is definitely a goal for next week, is to work on that specific task, is making sure that I don't feel that way. And the way I know I'm dehydrated, I should kind of mention, is something kind of, we call it orthostatics. But basically, it's when you go from like a lane to sitting, a lane to standing, bending over to standing. Anytime you kind of change positions and you get that instant kind of dizziness, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're dehydration, but it's a very good indicator. And since I know that I'm at risk for it, I know that I'm dehydrated, because I'll go, for instance, this morning, I had to put something on the ground, and I went down to that, and I stood up and I got really dizzy, and I knew that I was just not hydrated. But I had just ate at 6 a.m. and I knew I couldn't have anything till 7, but at 7 I made sure I drank an 8-ounce glass of water right away, and then I had 3 more within that 2 hours until I had to eat again. So really pushing the hydration. In regards to some of the meals, when I've been looking up for this bariatric diet, I've been seeing a lot of ketogenic suggestions because they are low carb. But one thing that they told me is I should only have 1 to 2 meals with high fat in them. They said that would include nuts, peanut butter, bacon, things like that. They don't want me to have more than 1 to 2 meals a day with that. Also, they really want me staying away from milk, juice, and any pops because of the high carb content. Another part that became really exciting is they told me I could have caffeine again. Before the surgery, I was drinking caffeine. I had probably 1 to 2 cups a day, but this is something I've been really debating in my mind, is if I want to start drinking coffee again. I don't know, this would, since like I said, the risk of acid reflux is more severe with the gastric sleeve procedure, this would probably increase my risk of having acid reflux, which I really don't want to get. I don't want to be put on something long term to deal with that. I've also been thinking, back in the day, I really liked Starbucks and Caribou Coffee. Trying to research and figure out a good low carb option at both of those places, and maybe that could be like a treat, but I just don't really want to go back to drinking coffee every day. It's always difficult to stop, and since I don't have any cravings for coffee right now, I really don't know that I want to start that. Another thing with coffee is it seems like if I drink it in the morning, I want to have another cup in the afternoon because I always get super tired. Since I completely quit, I haven't been tired in the afternoon. Like, I'm still ready to go. So probably not something I'm overly interested. And then the next thing is that they added 2 more vitamins, which I am not excited about taking vitamins. I think they're expensive, but they said that there's no way I'm going to be able to get this nutrient. So right now I'm currently doing a multivitamin, vitamin D, 2,000 units daily, and I do an injection of vitamin B12 once a month. Now they're adding calcium. They prefer calcium citrate. They said I need to be having 500 milligrams 3 times a day, but they said I looked in my multivitamin and I get 500 milligrams in that. So they said And then as long as I'm having like cheese or something like that daily, they said I can skip another dose of it. So once a day, I take 500 milligrams of calcium. The next thing is they want me to start doing Benefiber. They said that there's no way I'll be getting enough fiber, and they're worried about me becoming constipated, which I told them, I said, I really don't feel like that's an issue. Like, I'm a regular kind of gal, but if this is too much information for my family, they can fast forward to this part. But they told me that they want me taking it regardless. And if I notice that things get a little soft coming out, that I can reduce it in half. I'm going to try it out, do what they tell me to, but I am going to go back in 6 weeks for a follow-up. And if I notice that it's not working very correctly, I will definitely be talking to them about that. And the last thing is that I've been cleared for exercise. They suggested that with this, to start with the strength training. They said that a lot of times you lose muscle when you're losing weight like this. And so the concern of that is to make sure that you don't lose any muscle. Another thing that's been really excited is that my dog, little Guinness, if you are new here, he's a little shy today. Guinness, come on. This is my little Guinness right here, and he has been able to go on his morning walks every day, which is his most exciting time. He was so sweet. When I first had this surgery, he could tell that I just was really low energy and not feeling good and was not persistent about the walks. But then when he saw that I was getting better, he was like, are you going to take me? Like, are we going to go for our walks? Because that is something we've been doing since we brought him into our lives. He'll be 3 coming up here in March, so he's becoming a big boy. But the walks have been really great again. I really miss that time just to kind of clear my mind on my walk, and then just also spend it with Guinness before I go to a day of work. I feel like it makes me a little bit more sane. So that's exciting. Monday, I go back to my first belly dancing class. And then I've really been looking at doing some yoga. I have some just really small 5-pound weights that I've been doing some arm exercises with. And I think I'm going to try to, there's a couple YouTube channels that I've been doing that's just kind of been, certain, like cardio and things like that. My energy is definitely way up compared to where I even started. I feel like I have a little bit more energy than I did right before the surgery. So I'm definitely going to continue increasing that exercise, and I'm so excited to get back to belly dancing. I really miss the group of girls that I belly dance with. And there's something about belly dancing that just really makes you fall in love with who you are as a person, and then also the way like your body moves. There's something strong about that. I don't really know how to explain it, but if you do it, you would know. So those are my kind of plans. I think, I'm just continuing to learn my new stomach. I really feel that just as I had all my life, a great example is at Thanksgiving, where you have, it's like the worst meal ever to eat, but it's so delicious. And I used to know my body and my stomach, and I knew if I were to have one more bite of mashed potatoes, my stomach would be so full it'd be uncomfortable. So now with this new stomach, it's been taking me some time, but I would say typically in life, when you start to get a routine down, it takes about 6 weeks. And I've been living with this stomach now for just shy of 7 weeks, and I've really come into it. I know when to stop. It was really great because I knew when my stomach was full. I knew when to say, I'm done. And that has been really great. I do need to work on eating a little bit slower. I'm lucky that my boyfriend Daniel he notices and says, you're going a little fast, and he can see from the look on my face that I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable. And then also making sure that I'm chewing my food a lot more than I did before. These are 2 goals that I really will need to work on. So I feel like I have a lot down packed. I'm definitely a stronger person than I was the week after my surgery, but I do know that I still have a lot of things to learn, a long way to go. So Next week is everybody's favorite. It'll be my 2 months out, or my 8 weeks post-op. And we will do statistics of how much I've lost. And when I went in for my 6-week for my 6-week follow-up, they weighed me and I was shocked. They told me that I am above the bell curve, that they're really happy with how much weight I'm losing. And so make sure that you watch next week's video, because I think you'll be pretty shocked, because I was shocked. And I just want to thank everybody for watching. And if you enjoy and want to follow me on this journey, please subscribe down below. Thank you.